Welcome back to Play and Trade Guitars. I'm John, that's Zach behind the camera, and this is Play and Trade Guitars, where we're about to check out the brand new Fender TOM DeLonge Stratocaster at a price point of $12.99. I'll tell you everything you need to know if you're in the market for this awesome TOM DeLonge Strat. I will pull it apart on the bench, and of course, I'll plug it in and play it. And at the top, remember, if you're in the market for any new gear, including this Strat, make sure you buy using our link because it really does support our channel when you buy gear using our link. You also get fast free shipping and really easy payment plans, and it makes buying new gear super easy. We want to give you all the information you need to decide if this is the guitar for you. So let's get started. Let's get it out of the gig bag and take a first look at the TOM DeLonge Stratocaster from Fender. All right, here it is, straight out of the Fender gig bag, and I'll tell you what, Blink-182 and that music, those tab books, when we started playing guitar, Ask Zach too, these were like guitar Bibles to us. It all came down to Blink-182 when we were starting out with our Strat packs, when we were just starting out rocking and learning guitar. And Blink-182 is one of those timeless bands that brought some of the coolest riffs and coolest, catchiest songs on the planet. And Fender would have been very stupid to not reissue this guitar because the original iteration of these TOM DeLonge Strats go for crazy money. So now, as a kind of a joint effort to promote the new Blink-182 album and all the touring that's going on, we're so glad to see them reunited, we also have this brand new Strat. And it's got some really nice features. I think this is kicking off a trend at Fender. This is a real rosewood fretboard. I'm so happy that Fender is going back to using rosewood. More about that to come. But on this one, you've got this really nice limited edition Tom backplate. Beautiful color selection. You actually have a satin feel on the maple neck, but then a full gloss on the body. I love that blue. This is a Seymour Duncan SH8 Invader high output humbucker, and you have just the single volume. If you know me, I love a simple guitar. This has one volume and actually a treble bleed circuit too, so that even if you roll down the volume to bring the power down, you don't lose the high end. That's a nice feature too that we'll see when we pull it apart. 21 frets on this guitar. So happy about the rosewood and satin finish on the big 70s style Fender Strat headstock and those vintage style tuners, which look great. You got special edition sticker on the back of the large headstock, and then you've got a Mexican serial number here. These are made in Mexico, $12.99. Let's head over to the bench where we can pull it apart. Super excited about this one. All right, starting up at the top of the headstock, I love these vintage slot style tuners. I actually call them quick loaders. It's kind of a divided camp. Some people love them, some people hate them. I love them. I think they work fantastic. And you can really see that satin finish, Fender in kind of a copper gold Stratocaster logo here. Deluxe series, and then flipping it over, you can get another look at those tuners and the Fender Special Edition sticker. And again, MIM on this series. Standout neck here, feature being that it is satin, and it is a C-shaped neck, and we'll get a measurement when we pull the strings off. 21 frets, rosewood board. You got a 3-ply perloid pickguard here, and then this is the star of the sound. This is your Seymour Duncan Invader. This is the SH8 high output, really perfect humbucker for this guitar and for this style of music, and that one simple volume control. Modern block style saddles, and then, I mean, pretty simple. Nothing to look at on the back because there's no trim. So one cool thing here is you got the string through. You know, it's basically a hardtail Strat, and that gives you some added resonance, I think. I love the sound of a string-through body design on like a Telecaster, and so here it transfers over to the Strat, and I always think that sounds really nice. It also kind of affects the feel of the strings themselves. They feel a little bit snappier and tighter, in my opinion, on a hardtail Strat compared to one with a trem, which has more obvious give given the springs. So satisfying. Check that out. Limited edition Tom artwork on the back of the plate. And those plates matter because, man, I'll tell you, the prior issues of these guitars that are missing that back plate are worth a fraction of what they're worth with the plate. So if you plan on holding on to this guitar, don't swap that plate, or if you do, don't lose it. There's that plate. We have alder body, and you can get a look at the raw alder with the factory markings down in the pocket. And then check that out, you got a construction date here. So these have been sitting ready to go since May 26, 2023. And a few other marks here on the neck, but you can see that slab rosewood, a nice good hunk of rosewood. This is gonna be a 9.5-inch modern radius and 21 frets. set and feel on that neck. Everything feels great in the hand already. So the C-shaped neck, now that it's off, I guess we'll take some measurements. We have a synthetic bone nut, this one reading 1.65 inches. First fret at 0.82 inches, up to a 12th fret of 0.86 inches. Older Strat body comes in at 1.81 inches thick. Flipping up that pickguard, and check that out. If you want options, I wouldn't modify this one, but if you want options, it's already routed for at least 3 pickups if you want to absolutely go crazy. Got a spot for a humbucker in the neck, and then a third slot for a single in the middle. We have a 500K pot here, which is unusual because most Fender pots would be 250K for kind of a traditional vintage. 500K pot with the Invader. Flipping on the multimeter, we get a reading on this Invader. It's a screaming hot 15.8. Output on the humbucker, 15.8 ohms. And that's exactly what the doctor ordered. Screaming high output for a big, bold sound out of the Invader. Perfect for what we're cooking with here. All right, looking for a weight. And we've got 7 pounds, 4 ounces, so we'll call it 7.25 pounds. Pretty lightweight, good weight for a Strat. And flipping it around for initial reaction, satin feel of the neck is a standout. Definitely the fact that it's a hardtail, it gives it just this kind of snappy resonance. Fairly loud unplugged, good feeling guitar. I like the neck shape. I like the ring to the guitar. It's so nice to be looking at a rosewood slab from Fender again. And the guitar feels nice. It was set up basically perfectly from the factory. Just a little bit of relief and action kind of in the sweet spot. Kind of a low, low, medium. Enough to let those notes sing. It's time to plug it in, but remember, these are in stock at Zounds. You can click to buy using our link. It really does support us. You can find all your gear there. And as I get ready to plug it in, I'm gonna show you some cleans. We'll dirty it up, and then we'll let it sing behind a track featuring Zach on bass this time. It'll be fun to kick it with him on this track. And let's get to work. Remember to drop a comment as we go, and stay tuned to the end because I'll give you my honest, raw reaction to playing the new Tom DeLonge Strat, and I'll give you the final score. So stay tuned to the end. See you on the other side. Fender TOM DeLonge Stratocaster at $12.99. Drop a comment and let me know what you think. Now it's time for me to tell you what I think. After playing this guitar, I was really impressed with a lot of features about it. I'm going to give you an overall score that I base on overall playability, overall sound, and overall value. Starting with playability, the factory setup was perfect. I really do like the feel of the satin maple neck, and the rosewood board is a standout. It makes playing a breeze on this guitar. I also think that the hardtail Strat is not only easier to keep in tune, but it also has a certain tightness to it that reminds me more of a Telecaster, because basically with the string through body construction, it is similar in some regard. So you don't have the trem kind of pulling with you as you play, so it's less slinky, more rigid, but in that rigid feel comes a little bit more of a brighter projecting voice, I think, with a little bit more stability. You got to work a little harder to play it, but it's worth the effort because that sound, I think, is really nicely bright and well-rounded. So great voice to the guitar, very playable. Now the sound, let's talk about sound. This is basically dominated by the Invader. And for what this guitar is built to do, it does it beautifully. I mean, you will not sound better playing power chords on pretty much any other guitar that I can think of than how power chords sound on this guitar. Sound-wise, if I tried to venture, if you watch some of my other demos and see kind of my playing style, if I tried to venture anywhere outside of kind of what this guitar is built for, I will say, especially cranking through a Mesa Boogie Mark V, it's not the most versatile in terms of sounds, but my guess is if you're interested in this guitar, it's because you want it to do what it's built to do, and it pretty much kicks ass in that regard when it comes to the sound of that big Invader. Power chords, it can just sit on this guitar. I could sit and play power chords on this guitar all day because it really just wraps you with this super powerful blanket of all powerful sound from that Seymour Duncan Invader, so I love that. And then overall value, I guess I'm fairly impressed that it's $12.99. I think it could have been much worse. It's obviously not the cheapest guitar that Fender makes, especially made in Mexico. But considering it's a limited edition with Tom DeLonge's name on it, and my guess is these will sell out, given the limited edition factor, I still think $12.99 is a very fair price, especially when you consider that the standards made in Mexico of the prior run from the 2000s go for much more than $12.99 in the used market, even beat up examples. So keep that in mind. I think you should grab this while you can. So with all that said, let's talk about an overall score. If I had to give a score in overall playability, I'd give it a 9.0. Overall sound for what it's built to do, I'd give it a 9.0, but keep in mind, I kind of put an asterisk because it does what it's built to do and not much else, in my opinion. And then when it comes to value, I'm gonna go ahead and give it an 8.5. That brings us to an overall score on the Fender TOM DeLonge Stratocaster of 8.8. I'd solidly recommend it, and I don't think you need to hear that from me. If you are a Tom DeLonge fan, if you are a Blink-182 fan, if you want that sound, this will absolutely nail that. And it's an impressive release from Tom DeLonge and Fender. Click to buy using our link. It really does support us. You get fast free shipping, easy payment plans, and I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about the Tom DeLonge Fender Stratocaster, and be in it to win it with our Les Paul Gold Top Deluxe giveaway. All the entry information in the description. Watch one of these demos on Play and Trade Guitars. Thanks for watching. I'm John, that's Zach, and this is Play and Trade Guitars.